Welcome, beautiful souls. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Marta, and welcome to the Awaken Women Podcast. Today I'm coming to you very vulnerably with talking about the dark night of the soul. And what is dark night of the soul is the moment when nothing makes sense anymore. When we feel disconnected from ourselves, from our purpose, from what used to felt like a norm or felt like something that we enjoyed, and now it just feels numb. When we are in this moment in time when things and people and places just seem so foreign and they feel like they're falling away or they are falling away. This phrase of night out, the dark night of the soul, comes from Saint John of the Cross, I think. And he was the person who described this phase of life as such. And this is when everything that we know and if we understand that everything that we've been so far was constructed of a lot of the time survival mechanism, of perfectionist self, of people pleaser. When the soul is yearning to come through and express itself in the most authentic way, this is when our life, our external, the universe, will start to challenge us. Oftentimes it looks like a challenge. Oftentimes it looks like relationships not working out, falling away, friendships that used to felt so right no longer feel aligned. Our career and what we used to do just doesn't feel the same anymore, and it just feels numb. We feel this very deep internal disconnect from who we used to be, and that time, that moment in life, and I feel like there's a lot of us going through this right now. I see around me a lot of relationships breaking. I see women choosing to step away from what I would perceive to be a very good relationship. But of course, we all have our internal processes, right? And the soul is calling to awaken. And to do that, a lot has to take place. And when I stepped into spirituality or awoken to being more curious to the higher consciousness about 7 years ago now, or 6 years ago now, no one really talked about, and I can't really see that being discussed a lot today in the social media realm, in media, YouTube. No one really talks about, or not a lot of us are talking about the truth of what it means to really awaken and how hard it is to go through that process of awakening, and that it means that what you knew before is going to have to go. Your friendships, your partnerships, the job that you used to love or enjoy, the location that you used to live in, the house, the home, the environment, the whole environment that you used to live in and that your past version of yourself has built, no longer feels aligned. It feels completely disconnected. It feels numb. It feels like you are out of place. You still show up to these places And as you do, you have this deep knowing that this is not where you are meant to be. Now, the reason that I'm speaking to this today is because I am in the midst of that. This is not my first ride. I've had a lot of awakening moments, and I had a lot of shedding of my past happening over the last 3-4 years. And those dark night of the souls have been happening for me. So this is not my first rodeo. This one, though, feels potent. It feels like the truest version of me is coming through. It's really wanting to come through. And yes, that shedding is connected to complete numbness, detachment from things. I had this moment where I woke up one morning and I thought, wow, I could literally just burn all of this. I could burn everything that I owe and move and go. I am in the midst of housing changes. My car has broken down. Like, I'm being presented with so many challenges on the physical realm. You know, my friendships, I chose to step away from them because I had this download of, wow, this is no longer aligned. And it's a lonely road. And that's another thing that spiritual community doesn't really talk about. So be aware of who you are listening to out there. Be discerning. Because a lot of people unfortunately bypass the real, the raw, the human. It takes a lot to be vulnerable and to sit in front of you and admit that I am there now. And it's not fun. It is hard. It is lonely. There's a lot of sadness, a lot of grief for the past self, a lot of grief of my disconnection with myself. Because the more you, and I promise this will get lighter, dark night of the soul is there to connect you to you. There is a big, big purpose behind that. Why it's happening, why we go through this moment of dismantling of the old past, or of the old identity, or of the old creation of yours. Because everything that you can see, everything that you experience, every struggle, it's your creation. And only if we can see it as our creation, we can then take responsibility for all that we have created. Every misaligned relationship, it was a past you, it was your past, it was a version of yourself that truly didn't know who she was, or she wasn't connected to her soul, to her purpose, to her knowing, to her intuition, to her authenticity. The job that you chose was the person or the part of you that was chasing money, that was chasing performance, that was chasing becoming someone that you thought you were meant to be. The material things around you, that you bought out of place of lack, or they were just simply part of your past, and energetically they are still connected to your past. So the dark night of the soul is this beautiful part of the journey of being a human, where one needs to go through the shedding, the dismantling, and letting go, and letting the old version of you die. And that's when the grieving comes. You grieve the relationships, the external, right? So your experiences that you've had, because we are human beings, we have feelings, emotions, we give of ourselves. 11:11 on the timer as I speak now. When you give of yourself, when you connect your soul, your parts, your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual parts, to all of that you created. And then out of your own decision or your own inner knowing, like me with my friendships, or out of universe presenting you and showing you that this is not it anymore. When things start breaking, when you are being asked to move, when you are being asked to relocate, but you have no idea how and where, and you don't have the means to do so. This is the time when your soul has reached the point where she knows that you are ready. And the universe will never give you and present you with the challenges that you can't cope with or you can't conquer, because you don't necessarily, and we don't necessarily remember how powerful we truly are. How much wisdom we hold within, how much resourcefulness we have, because we've been programmed to forget. But the dark night of the soul is asking to remember. It's asking to remember who you are, who you came here to be. This is not a punishment. This is redirection. A redirection to your truest self. Not a new version of you. No. The version that you always have been. It's not finding who you are. It is remembrance. It is remembering what your soul came here to be. And how it looks for me, again, it's been a few months now where I haven't been posting. I haven't been on social media. This video, I don't even know if I'm going to post it today. Probably not. I just gave myself permission, and I promised myself that I'm going to open my throat again and speak, even if it just means recording the video without posting it, because my soul is asking me to do that, because I do this for me. I do this for me, not because I need any validation from it. It's because my soul needs to express. And so, as I speak today, I want you to find and ask your soul and yourself, what does my soul need to express? What is this tough time, this difficulty in my life really presenting me with? What is she beckoning me to do? What do I need to step into? And like me, just taking one small step. When you get out of, or before butterfly, and in the last phases of the larva breaking through to be a butterfly, to be this beautiful, beautiful, colorful butterfly with wings. The last, before it actually morphs, it dissolves into nothingness. It dissolves into this, I don't know the word for it, like a, I don't know, maybe you know. And that is the hardest part. Before it breaks through, before it morphs into being a butterfly, it goes through the darkest phase, the hardest point, when it becomes nothing. It becomes this sludgy, I don't know the word. Maybe you can help me in the comments. What is the word for when the butterfly becomes, like when the larva just melts into, it morphs from being a larva. And there's this phase that it just becomes this nothingness, this kind of gooey thing. And it's in that void. And that void is when the biggest transformation happens. And if we try to break through that and help the larva getting out, it would never fly. So I ask you to stay still. I ask you to stay the course. I ask you to trust, to connect. Because what helps me to go through this phase of my life is connecting to nature. So much connection to Mother. So much connection to the trees, to the moon, to earth. Really grounding myself into the earth. Allowing for the earth to hold me. It is through journaling, through writing what is actually happening within me. Honoring the fact that you have something to say, that you matter, that you are worthy. I think the dark night of the soul brought me to my knees. This one specifically, every single one did that. You know, every single one did that, you know, in different ways. You know, there was big breakup of a relationship after 17 years, almost 3 years ago now. And it wasn't easy. This process of being a human externally, you know, it could look like depression, it could look like... And sometimes, you know, I doubted it. I doubted if I can do it. But today I know that this very process of being stripped bare naked, stripped away from every part of me that wanted to perform, wanted to be some sort of imaginary thing that I thought I was meant to be in comparison to others, to what people do, that process was so needed, my dear, because I've never felt so free. I never felt so much love for myself. I am absolutely in love with the life that I get to live, even though it's nothing, it doesn't look nothing like I want it right now. But when we can sit in the stillness and in the deep acceptance of, okay, this is where I am at, this is what's happening, this is where I have arrived, that's what I have created, because I take responsibility for everything that I created. That's where, and in that moment, when you can fully embody the truth that you are the creator, that's when you can start creating. That's when you understand that your sovereignty, your connection to your heart, to your soul, is inevitably the strongest power that you hold. And I would say I wanted to say connection to the source, to God, universe, whatever you want to call it. And yes, over the last months, I have never been as deeply connected before. But I also, in that journey, understood that I am source, that you are source. We hold the frequency of the creation within us. And that's not to sound grandiose or better than, no. Every single being on this planet came from the same source. And that power, that love, that sovereignty, you hold within you. We are one with the source. We are one with the universe. We are one with the stars and Mother Earth, with Mother Gaia. We are one. And only in those still, quiet moments of connection, of stillness, could I really feel this wholeness within me. Even when everything around me breaks, even when every part of my life, and I mean every part of my life, is falling away or falling apart, that's how I could hold the course, find my peace in the midst of the chaos, by connection to what is actually real. And what is actually real, it's not another Instagram post that you're going to find. It's not out there. It's not another guru or influencer. It's not. The answers that you seek are here right now within you. And this is something I'm learning as well, because I've started doing tarot. I work with dowsing rods, and that was to deepen my connection. But what I also found, and I'm learning right now, that the answers are within me. And I always check by meditation, by sitting down with a question before I make any decisions in life with myself. And these things are props, these things are things that can help us with open our channel to connect deeper. But I still know that the very answers are here and right now within you. And when you can find your peace within, it starts to become a little bit irrelevant of what's happening out there. Be it your bank account, be it your car, your housing. It's irrelevant. when you start understanding that this is a material world that we've been programmed for, to seek out the validation and the safety in these things, and you understand that this is not actually where and what makes you feel safe and makes you feel aligned and makes you feel at one with the universe, with yourself. The very thing that does is your connection to you and finding the source within, connecting to the higher realms. Of course, there are star beings. We are not the only ones on this planet, of course, and in this universe. We can be connecting to these entities, to these beings, asking for help. They're there to support us, always. You are never alone. But this should always come through your own discernment and your own connection to your soul. Because it is your soul that's the compass for wherever you need to be, wherever you need to go next, whatever the next step is supposed to be for you in your life. You are your compass. No one knows otherwise. Don't look for the answers without. Look for the answers within. And trust me that in the midst of this shit show of the 3D material world, you will be okay. You are safe. And you are one. You are limitless soul. You're not just this flesh. And so it all boils down to self-love. I always said this. Everything that we experience in this lifetime, every single experience, your experience of this life happens from within. It happens from your own garden. So then ask yourself a question. How do I tend to my garden? How much do I hold the course within? How much do I feel safe in my body? How much do I ground into the earth and connect with the elements of the planet? Because when you start doing that, you start recognizing what is actually true for you, not for anyone else. This is your journey on this planet. This is my journey on my planet. And I spend most of my life waiting for someone to come and save me and tell me what to do. No one's coming. And good, because again, the only person, the only soul with the knowing, with the wisdom, that knows what to do, where to go, what to be, how to express your soul in this lifetime is you. If you came to the end of this video, I would like to express so much gratitude. I honor you so much, and I thank you so much for connecting with me today. If you are on this journey of a struggle, if you find yourself questioning everything in your life, or you feel like you don't even know who you are anymore, just know that is a good sign that you are on the brink of your new beginnings, where your soul can thrive and be and do what you came here to be. Subscribe to this channel, share it with those women that are maybe on the same journey as you right now. Thank you so much for being you. Namaste.